Welcome to another episode of Smoked Meat with Jeff. Today I'm going to talk to you about a bacon weave wrapped stuffed sausage roll.
Damn!
To make this delectable smoked sausage roll, you're going to need a couple of supplies in addition to your basic ingredients. You are going to need some wax paper, a pair of scissors, gallon Ziploc bags, and a rolling pin. This in addition to your basic ingredients of a pound of smoked sausage. Jimmy Dean in a roll is a perfect way to purchase it, ready to go in a pre-measured amount. You're going to need thick cut sliced bacon, approximately a pound or 13 to 14 slices, and of course your choice of whatever it is you want to stuff your sausage roll with. Today I'm going to be doing a stuffed sausage roll with pepper jack cheese, spinach, green onions, sweet peppers, and spices. Of course, you can get creative and pretty much stuff it with just about anything you want. But today, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be throwing onto the smoker, which will be, of course, smoked for a few hours on my double barrel smoker here in the background. So let's get started. After you have all of your ingredients assembled, the first thing we need to do is make our sausage roll patty. So you're going to take a 1 gallon Ziploc bag and clip off the two corners. This is to allow air to escape when we put the sausage inside. Then you're going to take your 1 pound package of sausage, go ahead and insert it inside of the Ziploc bag. Now you don't have to use just regular sausage for this. If you want to get creative, you can use the maple flavored sausage or even the Italian hot sausage and get a little bit creative with the flavors that you want to get out of your sausage roll. Something that I've done in the past that was really good was an Italian style hot sausage, and then the sausage roll was stuffed with chicken, pesto, and sun-dried tomatoes. Absolutely amazing. Okay, now that we've got the sausage roll inside of the Ziploc bag, we are going to basically flatten it out with our rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, in a pinch you can use a wine bottle or even an old piece of furniture, chair leg, something like that, as long as it's round. Now, clipping the two corners is to allow air to escape as we're doing this process. Otherwise, you'll just blow out the bag. And you're just going to take this 1 pound of sausage and roll it out as evenly as you can. And it's perfectly okay if you end up with a little bit of sausage squeeze out of those two corners that you did. Sometimes you might want to flip it over. This one looks okay, but you can flip it over and even it out a little bit on that side as well. And of course, throughout this entire process, you want to make sure that you stay hydrated. And with the beginning of summer, I have chosen some lemon shandy to keep me hydrated while I do this. And then we move on to the next step. Now we are going to work on getting this sausage roll stuffed. So this is where you're going to need a sheet of wax paper. Put that down, and then you are going to grab those scissors again, open up the top of the Ziploc bag, and then you're going to cut down both sides of the Ziploc bag, not opening it up just yet, just running down the side. There's one side. Now let's get the other side. And now comes the fun part. We are going to peel back the top layer. And then take this whole thing, flip it over onto the wax paper. and remove the Ziploc bag. And now you are ready to stuff your sausage. Today I said I was going to be doing a sausage roll stuffed with, I've got some sweet peppers here, I've got green onion, and I've got my pepper jack cheese, and I'm going to have some spinach here as well. In fact, I forgot that, so let me go run inside and grab that real quick, and I will be right back. Forgetting my spinach was the perfect opportunity to have another little hydration session. So, oh, that's good on a hot summer day. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing stuffed. I'm going to start off with some special spices that I do myself. You can use just about anything that you create in your kitchen, or even a store-bought seasoning, whatever tickles your fancy. Do a good layer of that. And then I'm going to throw down a little bit of spinach. Put in some of my sweet peppers. And you want to make sure you stay to the lower 2/3 of this as you're doing it. Otherwise you end up, you want this top part here to actually stick to the other side as you roll this thing up. So if you go all the way to the top, it's a little hard to do that. Then I'm going to take some of my green onions, put that in here. And you notice that I'm putting them in long ways here. That's so that when we go to cut this thing up later, you're going to cut it into slices after it's rolled up. Then let's not forget about the tasty ingredient of cheese. Everybody loves cheese. And like I said, you don't have to stick to these ingredients. You can get creative and stuff this thing with just about anything that you want. You can do a breakfast sausage, you can do an Italian sausage, maple sausage, stuffed with whatever. So now we're going to take this whole contraption here, and you're going to carefully roll this thing up. And you want to put a little bit of pressure on it, keep it nice and tight, peeling back the wax paper as you go along. And there we go, we have that done, and then you can just take your wax paper and wrap it up. Put that off to the side because we need to do the bacon weave next. Alright, now that I've had a moment to relax and have another sip of my lemon shandy on this fine summer day, it is time to start on the bacon weave. As you can see, I got out another sheet of wax paper, and then I've got my thick cut bacon here. You are going to lay out a series of 7 pieces of bacon, and if you have bacon that is a little bit thicker on one side than it is on the other, feel free to alternate it so you end up with an even square by the time you're done. So while I do this, why don't we speed things up a little bit. Alright, now that I've got the 7 pieces of bacon, now I need to actually create my weave. And to do that, go ahead and take the second piece down, fold it back, do it with the third, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to take a piece of bacon and lay it down this way. Flop those back down. Then you're going to take the alternating piece, pick it up and move it out of the way, and do that all the way down. And then you're going to take another piece of bacon and lay this down, and then flop these back. What you're going to do is alternate this pattern back and forth all the way across until you've gotten all the way across your bacon. And you've got your weave. So let's go ahead and speed things up again. And there we have it, our bacon weave. Next step is to add the sausage roll onto this, and then we'll go ahead and get it onto the barbecue or onto the smoker. Now it's time to put our stuffed sausage roll that we did earlier directly onto the bacon weave. So this, you will just going to gingerly unwrap it without pulling the roll apart, and go ahead and get it onto the bacon. And discard that. Now you're just going to use the wax paper to help you tightly roll this thing up inside the bacon. And you want to make sure that the bacon actually overlaps at the very end there. Pull that out. And now you have your bacon weave wrapped sausage roll. You can leave it in the wrapper for when you want to put it in the fridge to save it for later after you get your smoker up and running. It also makes it very handy for transport to and from, or to the smoker. You're going to put this thing directly on the grate, or use a Bradley rack like I do. And this would be the same process on your smoker. You're just going to unwrap the whole thing, and then make sure that you end up with the bacon seam, which is right here on the bottom. So I'm going to tuck that out of the way, and then flip this thing over. And there is your bacon wrapped stuffed sausage roll ready for the smoker. You can even pinch the ends a little bit if you want to keep the cheese on the inside. So this will go directly onto the smoker. So you're going to want it on the smoker at about 250 degrees for about 3 hours. And at about the 2.5 hour mark or so, have some barbecue sauce ready, because you can brush it over the top of this whole thing for the last half hour or so of smoking, and then pull it off. So let's get this thing on the smoker. Alright, so here is your bacon weave wrapped sausage roll. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the smoker. Alright, I've got my sausage stuffed roll on the smoker, but here's the kicker. Why make one when you can make two? Which you will definitely want to do if you're going to have people over, because the first one will go incredibly quickly. We're about an hour and a half later or so about halfway through the cooking cycle, and let's take a look. Ooh, it's shaping up nicely. You can see that the bacon's starting to cook and crisp, and you can actually see I've got an extra piece of bacon here left over on each one, so I threw it in the smoker. So we got about another half hour or so, or about an hour I should say, before we slather these things with barbecue sauce, and looks like we're going to be eating good tonight. We're at about the 2.5 hour mark, and it's time to throw some barbecue sauce over the top of our smoked sausage roll. Man, that's looking good. You can use just about any type of barbecue sauce you'd like. If you have your own blend, feel free to throw that on. But you throw this on about half hour before the meat is ready, so it kind of glazes over. And it's a real simple process. Just squirt it on and spread it around. And it looks like my little bacon strips are just about ready to be pulled off for a little pre-meal snack. So we'll come back in about half an hour and pull this puppy off, and dinner is served. Alright, we're obviously much later in the day, and there we have it, the finished bacon weave wrapped stuffed sausage roll. Let's see if we can get some close-ups of this baby. All right, let's take a look at the inside. Ooh, look at those juices squirting out. Look at that. Stuffed sausage, we got the cheese, we got the green onion, we've got the various peppers in there, all wrapped in bacon. I think we're going to have a great dinner tonight. Oh, look at that. Ah, perfect way to start summer. Nice cold beer, some smoked meat. Well, thank you for joining me with Smoking Meat with Jeff. Hope to see you again next time. Until then, have fun on your smoker. Oh, that's good. Goes perfect with these potatoes.